Hi guys, it'll take a few minutes for people to come in. Just pop up live. I'm about to walk Puddin, who should be back behind me here. I gotta stop by the chickens for a second, but I want to do something for guys who joined this, who missed the live, or joining after the live. Let me turn the camera around. It is a gorgeous morning. We had some fog earlier, but that seems to have burned off already. But this whole area had just a thin layer of fog before the sun started coming up. So I've already done the chicken chores. I just have to turn off the water to the goose pool. And then we'll take Puddin out for a walk and we'll go see what is out there. Mainly for tea, but there might be some nice snacks on the trail as well. So we'll see what we have. It is, what is it, September 3rd? 2020 if you're watching this down the road. But yeah, looks like Lucky actually took his hose out of the pool. And go turn that off. So I'm gonna turn the fence on after that. Easiest place to cross the fence. Here we go. We've integrated what I call the teenagers, these little guys, into the main flock. We still have their coop here. They're still going in there at night, but they're getting more and more used to hanging out with the main flock. And they are cute. There's 8 of them. I think only one rooster, which is perfect. Opposite of my silky proportions. Silkies, I'll try not to make you dizzy, but climbing fences. Silkies are over here. We have 6 of them that we bought. We had one rooster. And yeah, who wants to guess how many roosters? There's one obvious one back there, but I've only heard one crow, so oh, so obviously that little tiny one is one of the tiniest hens I've had. Too many roosters. So that's a problem. We did butcher some of our meat birds last week. We did not butcher all in the same group because there were a bunch that were small. They were just shy of 9 weeks. So we couldn't do it this weekend, and we really didn't want to go past 10 weeks. So I had to do it last week. But we had some huge size discrepancies. We had a group, even the big group wasn't huge. Oh, there we go. Sorry. So we went butchered. We didn't even butcher the smallest one. It's only 1.6 pounds finished weight. So that was a little disappointing. But we took the 6 smallest and we just kept them because we have another group coming that are this weekend. I guess, let's see here. They're about 4 weeks right now. So we have another at least a month before we butcher them. And those have already a huge size discrepancy. So, oh, we have one person in the room I see. I'm chatting to myself otherwise. No, yeah, obviously this will stay up so people can watch. We are walking the dog and seeing what's in the woods. So, but yeah, so we had a butchery last weekend and really surprised at the size discrepancy. Our first batch was we only took them to 8 weeks and we were probably about the same size as the larger ones. Yeah, we had a few smaller ones, but none under 2 pounds. That was nuts. So this next batch, I'm not sure what we're gonna do. Maybe we'll have to break it down into 2 processing dates. One for the big half of them and one for the little half. Not sure. But anyway, we're gonna just take a little walk through the woods. Usually when I'm walking Puddin, I speed walk in the morning and can get this done in about 15 minutes. But today, I will stop and see what's on the trail. So I'll show you our woods here. Let's turn you around. So these are our trails. It's all new growth forest. We do have a lot of sassafras. This is a little baby sassafras, but we do have some pretty big ones on the edge of our yard coming through here. So a lot of sassafras. We have some various pines. We have made root beer with a mixture of roots, including sassafras roots, because we're trying to keep it from invading our yard too much, and it does spread by root. And we've tried that. That was good. You can eat the leaves too of those. That's gumbo filet, or as they say in Kalamazoo, gumbo feel or gumbo fill, or I don't know. They don't pronounce it very well. But anyway, gumbo filet is spicing for gumbo that's made from sassafras leaves. We do have just starting to ripen up here. We have some autumn olive. So it's this little ripe berry. Hi, Green Raven. Good morning. So this is an autumn olive. It is considered an invasive species in Michigan and in a lot of states. It has these oblong leaves that are silvery underneath, so you can pretty much tell them apart. Sometimes they'll have some thorns on them. Many of ours don't, or the thorny ones that we do have are fairly blunt. Hello, we're getting some more people coming in. But yeah, these are fairly tannic, but when they get ripe enough, they can be a little tart, but I like them as a trail snack as we walk. So that one was nice and ripe. It was good. And then you get this like dry taste afterwards. So a little astringent. We've made that into jam. We put in our wild berry jam. So we'll take, usually as we're picking our berries back here, we have dewberries and raspberries and wild strawberries. We will take all those and freeze them, because those are ready earlier than these guys, obviously. So we'll take all those and freeze them, and usually sometime in the winter we'll actually make some jam from that. We still have some jam from I think 2 years ago, our harvest. So with only 2 of us, we don't eat a whole lot of it. But there are some other things over here I'll show that we can actually start pulling. This is red clover, which you can eat the flower, or you can take the flower or leaves and put it in tea. So we do have some of that. A lot of the stuff back here has finished. Oh, I do want to show you one thing. Oh, here we go. Hi, pudding. Over here, we have some evening primrose. So 4 yellow. Oh, can we focus on that? 4 yellow petals. And it is starting to create some seed pods on it. Might be able to see that over here. See if we could get it to focus. Focus. There we go. Evening primrose oil is often used. I've heard mainly for women's things, like for breast pain, as a supplement. It can also trigger contractions for pregnant women. So some people try to use it to start contractions if they're going a little long, but you don't want to obviously use that during a pregnancy then. Over here, this is all goldenrod that's just about to open up. So this is actually perfect for harvesting for tea right now before the flowers open up, and then you can dry that and put it in teas through the winter. Once the flowers open, and we do have one over here that's just starting to open, probably still use it at this stage, but once these flowers open up completely, if you try to hang it to dry, it'll just go straight to seed, and the seeds are really fluffy, so it'll make a big mess. But yeah, we have evening primrose over there, goldenrod over here. I'm going to harvest some of these, so I'm going to set you down for a moment and get my snips and harvest them. It is a little damp out here. It's probably not the best time to harvest as far as time of day for those, because they will be a little damp, but we're going to hang them to dry or spread them out to dry, one or the other. So, I'm gonna pick some of these. And I try to get the ones that have some of the nicest leaves on them. Okay, there's that. Let's get you turned around here again. Okay, so yeah, so I know our foraging leader, Nobby, puts that in her wild tea, which actually has, I think she said, over 50 plants in it. Trying to see if there's anything else right here within view. Not a whole lot. I will show you one other thing here. Sorry. Watch the camera where I'm pointing it. No, I will show you. Let's see, where is it? Over here. These are past their prime, well past their prime. But yeah, these guys, they're all dried out already. So these were Bee Balm. They are Bee Balm. Just done flowering, have their seed heads on them. I did take some of those seed heads and put them out front in our food forest. I marked off a section for some wild seeds, so I went and put those out there because I would love to have some Bee Balm out front. It's really pretty. It is the Monarda fistulosa. There's a few types of Bee Balm, but we do have that one all over our back trails. See what else we see. It's rained recently, so we went for about a month and a half of fairly dry weather, so we should be getting some mushrooms here soon. And as it cools off a bit, we do have one tree that likes to produce maitake, or hen of the woods, and I haven't seen it yet. I just checked it the other day, but I'm hoping with all the rain we've had this weekend, and we're going to get a little bit more coming up, I think Sunday or Monday, so maybe we'll get some maitake soon. That would be awesome. And we put that in food. You can dry it and make it into teas or a tincture, and does have some various health benefits as well. Oh, I see another one that in most places this one's done, but over here, that's our wild yarrow, so we'll pick that one. There is another one over here that looks like it's finishing, so some of those heads are drying out. I did take some dry yarrow heads that have already gone to seed and put that up front as well. Most of this, you can see this carpet of brambles, it's all dewberries. So we get tons of dewberries on good years, depending on moisture and heat balance. We'll get lots of dewberries from all this. We have a few nice patches of this. I do see a clover back here, so I'm going to pick that. Lots of fun plants back here. Over here, this is your common ragweed right here in flower. it goes into flower the same time as goldenrod, so most people blame their allergies on goldenrod. The thing is, goldenrod pollen is not windborne. It's too heavy. So goldenrod gets pollinated by bugs for the most part. The ragweed, on the other hand, its pollen is really lightweight. You can't even see it. And it will take to the air, and that's what will cause your seasonal allergies this time of year, not the goldenrod. Now, you can actually eat ragweed. In fact, again, Nabi, our leader, or foraging guide, she puts it in both her wild salad and her tea. And one of the things she suggests is if you're allergic to it, actually put it in your tea. Being allergic to the pollen and having seasonal allergies to that is not the same thing as a food allergy. So if you're allergic to the pollen, there's a few mosquitoes. We haven't had many of those. No, if you're allergic to the pollen of that, it may not mean that you're allergic to eating it. Most people are actually not allergic to eating it. It is a little bit bitter, so I'd use it sparingly, but yeah, if you want to try to acclimate your body to that plant, that might be helpful. There's another plant here. We have wild roses. This is another invasive species in Michigan, Rosa Multiflora. So we have, this guy is reaching well into our path at this point, but you can harvest the leaves and put that in tea. We also have, these aren't ripe yet, but this wild version has very small hips, which is the fruit of the rose. And you can, once those turn red, you can harvest those. You can put that in tea. So this plant all the way through here is Rosa Multiflora. Again, considered invasive here, but why not eat your weeds? I actually don't mind it. It's got really pretty flowers, and the bees seem to love it. So I didn't plant it. It's illegal to do that in Michigan, but it's on our property everywhere. It's scattered, not really taking over. So it's basically one of those pioneer species. It's not native. Now you can have a debate with me on native versus invasive and what all that means, because 11,000 years ago, this area right here in Michigan was under like a mile of ice. So there was nothing left as far as plants go once the ice receded. So everything here at one point was invasive. That's another matter. What point in time are we talking about? And normally, like this part of Michigan prior to settlers would have primarily been woods. So we wouldn't have had things like too many of these little field sections or some of these invasive type pioneer plants, because they would have been shaded out by trees. So if you see behind me, that used to be all autumn olive, but it started getting shaded out, and the trees are starting to kill off our autumn olive bushes. There's still some here, but they're not doing that well. So this is, turn this around, right here. That's autumn olive. Don't see, oh yep, there's some fruit up here on that. So again, the fruit's edible when it turns red. It's very tannic. But yeah, so that's autumn olive here, but we used to have it, and it's still kind of hidden under here a little bit, but most of it, there's some vines that are creeping over it. It's basically being choked out by that direction south. So it's on the north sides of these young trees that are starting to shade it out, and it's not surviving as well. So like all these dead branches in here were a couple years ago all green with life. So most of these are just going on to their next succession. So it's amazing that we've only been here 6 years and we're already seeing a change in what's growing. So that is, one of the things people get so worried about. But yeah, if you're trying to keep this land clear, then your autumn olives are going to keep creeping back in, because it likes disturbed, clear land. It likes forest edges a bit, and but it needs enough sun to be able to survive well. Okay, we got another one here, guys. This one, get it to focus on that. This is a form of sumac. It's actually called winged sumac. Most people know the Staghorn Sumac. I'm going to show you. Here we go. Winged sumac has these little wings along its branches, all along the central part of the leaf, actually. So a compound leaf, opposite leaflets on it. But any sumac that has red berries is actually not poisonous. So this one has these red berries that get coated with a film. We had a lot of dew. Trying to get it to focus here. You can still see a little bit of white film over the berries. That white film is a combination, I'm trying to remember offhand, malic acid and a couple other acids that you eat in other fruit. It's actually very tart. So malic acid is what makes apples tart. It actually tastes very lemony. So if I went and touched a berry and rubbed some of that off, or even picked a berry, well, it's not as tart as normal because we had recent rain, so it's washed most of that film off of those. So it's best to actually pick those berries when it's dry out and they've had that film build up on those plants, on those berries. And most people will do this with the Staghorn Sumac, but you can take those berries and either grind them up and make them into za'atar, which is a Middle Eastern spice blend with sumac berries and either thyme or oregano and some, I believe, toasted sesame. Or you can, make it into sumac-ade, basically lemonade. So those are coming out now around here. The next plant is an edible plant as well, but I don't eat it because we don't have much of it. We have, see if we have any eggs on here. This is milkweed. And sometimes, like you can see evidence of caterpillar. What type? Oh, not the type I wanted. Oh, that's a different one. That's an interesting one. I don't know which caterpillar that is. I'd have to look that one up. But, oh, let me get this. Sorry, I'm trying to hold two things. I'm holding the leaf. There we go. Leaf and the camera in one hand. That's a cool little caterpillar. But what you normally find are monarch caterpillars on milkweed or milkweed family plants. I have seen them on butterfly weed, which is milkweed family as well, but they seem to prefer this guy, this milkweed. So I have some of that in my garden. Wild, I've actually taken some seeds from pods and scattered them in my garden on purpose. We had one go to flower in the garden, has pods now, so I'm hoping that we'll get some more in the garden next year. And this is my vegetable garden. If I recognize a weed that I don't mind, actually most weeds I don't mind, I will leave it there. So I did leave my milkweed plants, and I even saw some monarch butterflies going over and I think laying eggs on them. So that was kind of cool this year. So we do have those. We have some more goldenrod over here. Turn this around. There's some more goldenrod. And when we're talking about goldenrod and ragweed, actually don't see ragweed right here right now, but you can get a dermatitis reaction to goldenrod and ragweed. I'm going to adjust my camera here, sorry. Some people do. It's really pretty rare that some people will get like a itchiness on their skin, which is different than the normal allergy to ragweed. They are in the same big family of plants, so they are somewhat related, but like I said, your seasonal sneeziness would be caused by ragweed. Try to see if we have any other things down here. I am seeing things, but things we've already mentioned. Some yarrow, some, I'll turn you around, you can see where I'm going. How about that? Okay. Saw some yarrow back there. We have more sassafras here, little baby sassafras over here. Got some juniper. I'll have to see. I know that we have one with berries. I'll keep my eyes open for that. And the berries you can turn into gin, or some people use it medicinally. And actually, that's why gin was originally made, was to be used medicinally. And juniper is red cedar. I thought I saw a rabbit. I think it's just a leaf. Yeah, okay. Anyway, Puddin likes to chase rabbits, so I was going to point it out to her. She never catches them, although Mike would not mind if she caught one and brought it home. So, ooh, I like this little plant. That's a pretty new flower, and I've looked this one up before. I forget what it is right offhand. You know, you can put it in the chat. But, yeah, it has the little flowers up the stem. Pretty purple flowers. It is amazing to see how the colors change through the season with the flowers around here. But we do have, as far as trees go, juniper, a lot of black locust. I'm not a big fan of them because ours get thorny. We have, of course, our sumacs, which are, whether you consider a bush or tree. We have white pine in here as well somewhere. Not seeing, and we have mainly, these are all junipers or red cedar. Here, I don't see any juniper berries on these guys. Here's the pine. We get black cherry. We get, yeah, that's some oak and some maple. That's our main new growth tree forest. But go on walking down here. We have another little opening on the right, which has a ton of dewberries back here, which are completely done, but there's the dewberry plants. We do have some grapes, but I've never seen any fruit on them. Grape leaves there. I think our grapes are being eaten. You can eat the grape leaves. That was a grape. Somebody's munching on you. Probably some deer is my guess. Because you can definitely eat grape leaves. Oh, and here's some blooming goldenrod. This field will turn pretty darn yellow. And we'll have a ton of bees on that blooming goldenrod. So, yeah, it's getting there. It's going to be pretty yellow because that's a lot of goldenrod in there. Got some purple over there that might be that same plant I just pointed out a moment ago that I have to look up again. I can't remember offhand. It's been a couple years since I looked that one up. But not one I harvest. Okay, so we have some shadier woods back there. I'm going to go straight here because it opens up a little bit. So we'll get walking. We have a grove of sassafras going to come up in a minute. And yeah, so these are all baby sassafras. And some white pine. You can eat the white pine. Take the young shoots in the spring, strip some of the bark off the ends, tips of them, and then kind of chew on it. It's fairly sweet. So, trail snack. And again, this is pretty much almost all sassafras, although this plant is back to our autumn olives. So we have more. There's some unripe berries, if you can see that there. And back there, that one's starting to get a little ripe. Not quite ready yet. It's a little shadier over here. Oh, and look what I found. Those are the juniper berries. So they're pretty strong. People use them in flavoring for food as well. But yeah, we'll keep going here. More sassafras. We're going to start opening up in a minute. Ooh, sunshine. It's a gorgeous morning, guys. It is like in the 60s. It's perfect weather. Oh, found another one. This one is starting to go to seed in many places as well. Queen Anne's lace. Now, sometimes, not always, it'll have, see if I could get that purple dot in the center of the flower. That one does not. That does not mean it's not Queen Anne's lace. I know it's Queen Anne's lace because it's got hairy stems. You can feel it. That is a wild carrot. However, you want to make sure that that's what you're looking at. Should smell like carrot as well, but it doesn't make a very big carrot. Tends to be kind of scraggly. But there is something that looks similar. Nothing looks exactly like, but looks similar enough. But the stem tends to be smooth and tends to have a white film on it. That could be poison sumac. There are some other things that look similar as well. But that one there would be Queen Anne's lace, which actually is edible, but I don't eat it because I like my carrots that grow in the garden better. Keep going, keep going. I need to trim some of these things back from our trail again. Okay, we have the baby white pine up here. Oh look. Little bumblebee. This is related to thistle down here. I believe it's knapweed. Correct me if I'm wrong. But there's no thorns on it. It's not pokey, but it definitely has a thistle-like flower. But this is actually what I was going to go for. Hi, red clover. We have a lot of clover on our trail. You can see that. Usually takes over in places that need more nitrogen because it is a nitrogen fixer. This right here is a young white pine. You can actually, like I said, in the spring, only not right now, before it gets all these and stuff, you can actually take the top section, peel off the outer bark, and suck on the sap inside, which tends to be sweet. Here is some yarrow that's gone to seed. And again, I took some of that and put it in our front area, which is our food forest, to try to, on the sunnier spot, to try to put some wild plants that we like. So this one is a clover that's gone to seed. So I had lots of things, and there's a lot of those, I believe, knapweed plants that have gone to seed here. That's all over the place. I believe that's probably listed on the invasive list as well for the state. But again, the bees like it. I don't mind it. We have, we used to have more things back here that I knew. We have a lot of different grasses, which is really kind of cool. And they're all in seed now. Nice thing about this time of year. If there's any, these are pretty. If there's any grasses that you like, any plants you like, you gather the wild seeds and start your own wild garden bed. See if they like the space. Do a scatter and see what likes the space you made, what takes off. And I don't know this one. I'll have to look this one up. But we do have that this time of year. We'll go down further. There's a nice little opening up here. And we'll probably wrap up because I'll have to get going to work here soon. So I gotta actually check on my time. So sorry, I'm holding, yeah, it's 8 o'clock. I have to leave by 8:30, which means we'll probably end in this field and I'll walk back with wind pretty fast. I just don't want it to be shaky for you guys. But yeah, we have little more clover. These are, for the most part, starting to seed, and you can see the leaves aren't as good. The bees definitely like the clover as well. But like I said, you can eat. If you get a nice fresh, it's not as fresh, you get a nice fresh head. Oh, I see one. I think like that. You can snack on that. Just make sure there's no bugs in it. And yeah, a little bit sweet. Well, it definitely tastes like a plant, but it's got a nice mild flavor to it. It's pretty nice here. Okay, we have a area. This is actually our neighbor's property that opens up through here. Previous owners of this property, I gotta fix this, sorry. There we go. Okay. Previous owners of this property had a fire pit right there. And they used to have parties back here. They had a berm that they built up along the back because they used to use it as a shooting range. Let's see what we have down on the ground here. So we definitely have some clovers. Whole variety of things. We have one thing that grows a lot if this would shoot up a yellow flower, and that would be hawkweed. Over here we have some baby carrot, and again it's only small because they keep mowing this section. Let's see what else we have back here. I know, have some mullein. So this is definitely holding on to the morning dew. I'll probably pick some of this when it's a little drier, fuzzy. Some people call it the toilet paper plant. Some people, their skin's irritated by those little hairs on this plant. But this, you can use that in tea. Some people will smoke it to help with respiratory issues. I generally am not a fan of smoking anything carbon related. That's just me. Burnt carbon is a carcinogen. Okay, so we got more clover back here. We got more dewberries everywhere. Let's see what we have over here. Pudding. We're not going that way yet. We'll do that in a minute, girl. Over here. So we got some goldenrod over there. Got a nice mixture of evergreens, some juniper, some pine, some autumn olive, and we have, these guys are letting some baby autumn olives grow. I have seen some berries on these little plants, but not as many. I'll get on the other side of this little island that they've left, which used to be a fire pit. Over here, this is pokeweed at its prime, past its prime. Some people will use those berries as dye. They turn black. They definitely will stain your hands. So, there you go. Now, it is poisonous at this stage, definitely. Some people will eat the tiny shoots in the spring. You gotta get it before, definitely gotta get it before it starts turning red like this. But yeah, you do have to be careful and know your timing on this plant. So not a beginner foraging plant, but you can, like I said, use these berries for dyeing clothes or whatever. Over here is another bee balm. This is finishing up. Spotted bee balm. There's a couple names of this one that different people use. And it's sitting in here with some grape leaves and some wild nightshade. Now, I'm not sure. This nightshade, it's thorny. Oh yeah, it has its berries forming. There is one edible berry that you can eat off nightshades, but I'm not sure which one it is, so I have not risked that one. But this definitely forms berries that will turn black when they're ripe. That is one of the ones I don't like in my garden because it's thorny even down into the roots a little bit and a pain in the rear to try to pull. And I just got a bunch of sticky seeds on my jeans, but yeah, some more mullein, some more carrots, or sorry, Queen Anne's lace, either way. And yeah, got lots of fun stuff in here. This is a good one to know. This will be full of yellow flowers when it's flowering. It's now at seed pod stage. This is a second year mullein plant. So it looks like this little plant over here, first year with a little rosette of fuzzy leaves. And those leaves will get a lot bigger than that. It's just they keep mowing this one back. But second year, it has less of a rosette at the bottom, but it throws up this stalk that will have yellow flowers all the way up the stalk, and that is now seed stage. So you can recognize it looks different on the two different years. Okay. And the sun is coming up, guys. That's pretty over there. Over here, earlier in the season, it'll be full of black-eyed Susan. So those have gone to seed. You can see here, these are the seed heads of wild black-eyed Susan. I'm actually going to pick some of them because I wouldn't mind to have a bunch of that plant in our front garden, our front food forest area, and the sunny area that's just along the road. What I'll do is I'll just drop the whole seed heads up there. So hopefully they still have some seeds in them, and we'll get some nice flowers up there. Oh, here's some that are still actually barely in bloom. They look like they're about at the end of their bloom. More clover. Grab some of that. Yeah, usually we'll have more clover, but this is really the end of season. And there is some more back in there. I might get some another day, but things are damp this morning. So, and we'll also have a bunch of daisies. I think we have two types of daisies. One that is more bunching and one that has individual plants. There's another one, I don't know what it is. The flowers, when they're in bloom rather than seed stage, are actually green. I don't know that plant, but we'll look it up someday. We have Fleabane. Here, try to get it to focus for you. It is called Fleabane because people thought that it would repel fleas. Haven't actually seen any evidence of that actually working, but it's a pretty little mini daisy-like flower. More pokeweed up here. More autumn olive, little young plant on this berm. Oh, and here's that nightshade. Its fruit are about to turn black. It's just starting to ripen up. They'll go through that yellow. I believe it'll turn black if it's the one I'm thinking of. Some of these look like they're starting to rot or something too. There's a lot of that up here. It's all in fruit. Anyway. And more autumn olive and more goldenrod back there. Okay, guys. It is 8:10. I gotta go shower and get out the door for work. So I just wanted to take you on my walk with the dog. I hope you enjoyed it. It was just a pop-up, so I know we only have a few people in the room. But a little mini foraging video for what is now out in early September. I can't believe it's September already. Early September 2020. Lots of things to still harvest out here. A lot of things going to seed. So collect those seeds if you like the plant and go put them where you want them to grow. That's always helpful. You can definitely do that. But we will see you. We are planning on doing a official live this Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you want to join us for that, keep a lookout for that. That is our regular monthly first Sunday of the month live show. So this Sunday is the first Sunday of the month. So keep a lookout for that. That'll be coming soon, and you can have Mike ask the chef for cooking questions, and we'll kind of wrap up what we've done this month, because I know I haven't gotten many videos edited, although I have some to do, so I'll get those together soon. But we will see you with our next show. Thanks for watching. Well, have a good morning and the rest of your day.